Hi everyone, today I'm going to do my first ever Tay Talks comment section reply. So I do a thing called Tay Talks, I've only just started it. I'll link my first one down below, and it's basically like a chatty podcast I do about books. And I got loads of comments which I've answered, and now I'm going to tell you my answers on camera as well and hold up some books that answer some questions that some of you gave me about recommendations. So I'm going to get straight into this. Bernadette Nagy wrote, "The author spotlight is a really good idea. Thank you. I'm going to do an author spotlight with every Tay Talks. It's refreshing to see authors that aren't the default popular ones, since I avoid them like wildfire." I do too. Like, people who love John Green and love Rainbow Rowell, they're just two authors I'm not that infused with, and when they're like, if you love those two, you'll love Cassandra Clare, I'm like, if I hear Cassandra Clare one more time, tell me if you've read her, and tell me also if anyone likes Colleen Hoover, any of my subscribers, because I feel like we don't normally like the mainstream booktube books, so I'd be interested to know that. She also says, A+ for books descriptions and always making fun videos to watch. Thank you, girl. The weather in Serbia is unbearable too. It's so hot that it's abnormal. It's not even hot here in England really, but like, we think it's so hot, which is funny. I can't be outside after 9 AM till like 7 PM. That's me. That's me. That is literally me. And Lola, my cat, she was out when it was kind of like a little bit hot, and now she's like, I'm not even stepping foot outside. Not one paw is going on the gravel. She's like, it's too hot. Whenever I think of Serbia, I always think of Novak Djokovic, because I'm a massive tennis fan, which, fun fact, you might not have known that. I don't think I've spoken about tennis here. Sharapova with a little drug treat. Don't get me started on that. But Novak Djokovic, I love him. He's actually my favourite tennis player. Serena Williams, like, let's not get ahead. Serena's the queen and he can be the king. Jamie Diane says, "Where I live in Michigan, we constantly complain about the weather, lol. This week I've been rereading Howard's End by E.M. Forster." I always say Forester. "Which I'm liking more the second time around, but it's still not as good as A Room with a View." I actually have all the E.M. Forster that I own here that I want to talk to you about. So A Room with a View is the only one that I've read from him, and it's one of my favourite books and I adore it, but I don't feel like I can call him my favourite author because I haven't read anything else from him. I also own Howard's End, which I'm interested to read, but I also own another book that I think I'm going to like more than this one, and you know how much I ranted and raved about this one, but I think this one is going to be better, and it's A Passage to India. Now, I adore the film. It was a book, it was a very successful book, so it got turned into a film. And a lot of people think the film's quite slow and it's got a lot of subtlety and they don't really like it. It's not very sensationalised. It's about when British Raj and ruled over India, and also is set in a time where we were still there in India, but there was like a revolution and Indian people wanted independence from us and us to get the hell out of their country. So it was an uncertain time, and it's about a white woman that goes into the caves. They're exploring with a group of people, and she thinks that someone has assaulted her, and she thinks she knows who's assaulted her, but the cave is dark, she has no idea. So it's about racism, it's about people thinking that Indian people are less than them and kind of like animals, that only they would do bad things, and white people aren't the bad people so they can't have done anything wrong. And it's all kind of insinuated in the film, but nothing's truly said, so she doesn't really talk about the sexual assault. It's just very, very subtle, and that's what I'm thinking the book's going to be, and so I'm so excited. I love books that are set in India, and I think that British Raj was such an interesting time. They then go on to say, also I've been watching Secrets of the Six Wives because I know very little about the Tudors and you keep talking about Anne Boleyn, so I needed to know more. I'm glad you're getting into the Tudors, girl. I'm here for it. Do you have any Tudor book or movie recommendations? I have some here, but first I want to say is that I am always disappointed with books that are kind of historical fiction about the Tudors, because it's my fault entirely. I have certain set ideas of what personalities I think those people had, and then when it's historical fiction, it's based in history, so they use someone like Anne Boleyn but then make up wild things around her and change her personality, and I'm not here for it. I never find it that interesting. Soz. But I'm currently reading this, and I lost this and I found it again and started rereading it, and I love it. This is My Royal Story, Anne Boleyn and Me. This is about a girl who works as a maid with her mum and her sister. So this little girl is a Queen's lady, so the Queen's maid dresses the Queen, entertains her, all the different stuff. Not Queen Anne. No. Queen Catherine, which was who Henry VIII was married to before he married Anne Boleyn. So they all love Catherine, everything's fine. Then Anne comes in and he splits up the maids. So the little girl can no longer be with her mum and sister. She has to become Anne's maid. And it's when Henry VIII hadn't divorced Catherine yet, but he wanted to marry Anne. So he had the two of them and split the maids. So the little girl really doesn't like Anne Boleyn. And as an Anne Boleyn fan, I was kind of like, what girl, what? But I understand that she has her loyalties to Catherine. She doesn't like Anne. She thinks Anne's very different. She's a woman who reads controversial books, and she's like, why is a woman reading controversial books? That's not how I've been raised. You know, we do what men tell us, and Anne Boleyn's such a free spirit. What on earth has happened here? Why is she behaving in this way? And this little girl is just very baffled by Anne. And Anne read a book which was very controversial, and the girl talks about it, and it was all about the wealth that the church have, and Anne didn't think that was right, that the church has such immense wealth and yet they weren't giving it to the poor, they were just kind of hoarding it. And she said, how come people who work in the church, supposed to be a non-profit organisation, they've been actual wealth, like luxury, they're not really helping the poor, they're not saying what they think that they're supposed to do. And she was talking about the monks and everything. And so this little girl is just like baffled by a woman who is daring to speak, and I absolutely love it so far. But it's from the point of someone who doesn't like Anne, so just bear that in mind, but it's so worth your time. I then have The Six Wives of Henry VIII. This is by Pitkin. Pitkin I've spoken about before. They publish books that are historical books, but they're just facts, and that's why I like them. There's no insinuation, there's no like, well, we can look into that and interpret it as, no, it's just the facts of what happened at the time, the records, that's it. So it has pictures of the various people and then just facts of the time. And I really like Pitkin, even if you're not into Tudors. They do so many things. They do like Dickens, which I have, they've got Victorian ones, loads of different eras, so definitely look into Pitkin, it's well worth your time. And that's kind of it for Tudor stuff at the moment. I can't think of anything else. P.S. I love your outfit, by the way. Thanks, girl. Ackle Void 93 said, I love it. Maybe you can tell us funny stories about getting books or stories about your trips to charity shops. 100% I'm going to do that. I actually used to work in a charity shop for the charity Mind, which is a mental health charity. So I have so many stories because I spend so much of my time like scurrying around charity shops. Definitely going to do a whole video on that kind of thing. Alex's Fiction Addiction said, I feel like I should read some Anne Cassidy. You should, Alex girl. Also, we need to meet up and do some book shopping together, okay, Alex? Because I love you. Sarah Hall said, I have a copy of Moth Girls by Anne Cassidy. It's a new one of her, published last year. Anne Cassidy has written so many books, and I'm like, oh my god. I haven't read it yet, but it looks intriguing. When I was 15, I spent a whole summer holidays in my room reading the Flowers in the Attic series by Virginia Andrews, apart from Miss Marples. I've been reading since 12, the first adult fiction, and then she goes on to say that was a long time ago when she started reading. She started the Cassette Family series, which started with Heaven, and she absolutely adored them. I love V.C. Andrews. I have 2 books here to talk about from her. She also says, at the moment I'm in the middle of Stephen King, and to balance it out I'm reading The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. Like, that's such a weird combination, Sarah. I've never read anything from Nicholas Sparks. Did he do The Notebook? Because I am not a massive fan of that film. I think it's okay, but I'm not like in love with it. So yeah, give me some Nicholas Sparks recommendations though, please. But for Virginia Andrews, or V.C. Andrews as she likes to write, I have read the Hudson series. This is book 4. I got a lot of them out of the library. You can find her stuff in the library. I didn't read all the books in the series. I skipped a few, and that is only because she's highly requested author, and the book kept not being in the library when I wanted to read it, and it was really annoying, so I skipped. But I loved what I read of this series. I thought it was absolutely stunning. This one is about a girl who, she goes off to college and she gets sexually assaulted by a boy, and it's about how her life was before the assault and after the assault, but there's loads of other little tragic things that happen. It's about how she deals with it, and it's just such a fast-paced thriller, but very emotional and beautiful at the same time. And I have, this is what I was saying in the Hannah Talks, should I read Secrets in the Attic, which she did one called Flowers in the Attic, which Sarah, you've read, and it got turned into a film and people love it, and I really need to get that book and do that. And then this is the first book in a thrilling new secrets series. So I will get round to that because Sarah, you said it was good. Flowers in the Attic, what is that about? Is that about abuse with a grandmother or something? Should I read the book first or should I see the film first of that? Let me know down below. Emma Ellen said, hey, I'm struggling knowing what to read next. I'm travelling a lot over the next month, so I don't want anything too heavy, but still good. What do you recommend? Well, Emma, I've just put up a video where I talk about holiday and travelling reads. When I got your comment, I was literally had just finished filming that holiday video and I was like, Emma, I got you, girl, I got you. So if you are going travelling, then check out that video. I'll link it down below so you can just go into the description. Sadie S said, I love complaining about the weather too. Maybe I should move. Girl, come move here. Come move with me, please. P.S. It was 120 degrees Fahrenheit in Phoenix yesterday. I really want to go to Phoenix. Phoenix in Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona. That's where I really want to go. Books and Looks. What a lovely drawing. I have not read The Hunchback of Notre Dame either. I'm looking forward to see what you think of it. I'm so excited for The Hunchback time. So excited. Headless Book says, have you read any of Patsy Kelly Investigates by Anne Cassidy? I loved those books. I haven't, but I'm really intrigued now that you've said them, and I'm running out of Anne Cassidy books that I have to read. So then the next ones I'm going to get is the Patsy Kelly Investigates ones. Loanis Sakalaris, sorry if I said that wrong. Now, I'm not going to spoil it, but I have to warn you, The Hunchback of Notre Dame is a superb book with a surprisingly low amount of spontaneous musical numbers. Sorry, what? Well, I love the songs of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know the book doesn't have the songs, but I know also what happens in the book, and it's so different from the Disney version. I don't think it's the same at all. It's got the same characters, but it's very different. When I watched The Hunchback Disney, I didn't watch it as a child, I watched it when I was in my teens and I fell in love with it, and then I decided to look up what the original was about, and so I know what happens. I know that it's got a devastating end and there is no happy endings in this, and Quasi is not as good as you think he is. I know everything that happens, which I feel like I'm a little bit spoiled for, to be honest with you. She said also be prepared to feel things, many thanks. I know. So many things, but I already know what it's about, so I feel like I'm a little bit spoiled for it. Do you ever feel that when you know like certain twists, and then when you're reading a book you're waiting for those twists to unfold? But I'm still very excited to read it. And then the last comment is Sophie Berry said, I love your videos, you are so funny. Thanks girl, you're all so kind. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of my comments video. I really enjoyed this because I just love just sitting down and chatting. There'll be another Hannah Talks video soon, so look forward to that. Tell me any authors that you want me to spotlight. I'm going to do like Tracy Chevalier, Alice Walker, Arthur Miller, but tell me if there's any more that you would like me to talk about that I've read. And yeah, I'll see you again soon for another video. I hope you're having a great day whatever you're doing. It's boiling hot in England, but how the weather is in our summer is it's hot for a few days and then there's mass thunderstorms and then it's hot again, so it's really weird. But yeah, I'm probably just going to go out and sunbathe and then get my umbrella out. So I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye!